It's a tough one. It's a tough one for a lot of reasons. As you said, geographic ties to both places. So really, I can't lose.
No.
Geographic ties to both cities, teams. The teams are, as the graphic showed, incredibly, like this is a pick'em series, really. But because the Knicks have the home court, the Knicks have momentum just from coming off beating the defending champs that no one thought they could beat, probably except the 12 players, 15 players on the team and their coaching staff.
Knicks have the best player?
Knicks do have the best player.
Agree.
I agree with your king of the hill yesterday. They got the best player, Jalen Brunson,
Yeah.
and two of the three best players in
Yes.
Jalen and Cat. And honestly, I think the fact that the Pacers won last year in 7, it's hard. These teams are so evenly matched. I know there's differences this year, but it's hard to see, oh, they're going to win it again. If you go back to the 90s when this was a knockdown, drag-out rivalry, it was every other year. They alternated. Knicks won, Pacers won, Knicks won, Pacers won. And so with that said, I got one word.
Oh.
Naptown! Naptown! I gotta go with the home squad. I mean, I live here, but I was a kid, obviously, in Naptown. This is my favorite place to live as a kid, and I lived in a lot of
Great
places.
hair, great barber.
Well, like I said, best afro in America in the 70s.
Certainly in Indiana. Certainly the best afro in Indiana.
The Jackson 5 from Indiana, so they got a lot of afros there. But yeah, look. This is a close series. And again, I think there's every reason to pick the Knicks because of the home court. But what I like about Indiana, I think they're just as gritty as the Knicks. Like the Knicks I talked last week about, it's got to be exasperating playing them because they're just going to keep coming. Yeah. And so is Indiana. And Cleveland found that out. Yep. I think, Nick, their tempo, they want to play fast. You said it yesterday. And over 7 games, could that wear down the Knicks who are going to go 7 deep max? And they're going to be picking them up full court a lot of the time. And that can wear you down as well. And then here's the thing, because the Knicks defense, that was looked at as their Achilles heel in the regular season. Now, the offense is great. The defense, the playoffs has been good. Yep. But they played Detroit and Boston, obviously good offensive teams, but those teams are ISO teams. They were in the playoffs, they've been bottom of the league in passes. Yeah. Guess who's first? Indiana. Indiana has passed like 100 more passes a game than those two teams, Boston and Detroit. So what that does when you're ISO, that allows a team to sit defensively and be better off. They're going to have to deal with player movement, ball movement, all of that. And that's going to make it tougher on the Knicks defensively. Wow. So I think Indiana's going to pull this out. I had to go with the home.
Do you have a prediction?
Yeah. 6. It's going 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
It's going 6 or 7.
Going into the playoffs, the thing that I was most confident about was that Boston was going to win the East.
Me too.
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. We know. And again, the cloud, understandably, of Tatum's injury reframed how we talked about and kind of how we even remember, even though it just happened that series. I think what the Knicks did to Boston, those first 4 games of that series, and then the annihilation in Game 6, is the most impressive thing anyone's done this postseason. And I think the Knicks are going to beat the Pacers. I feel like Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson's contributions through the playoffs to where they really do now have 7 guys that Tibbs trusts. Right. 6 is not enough. Ask Denver. Well, Denver was down to basically 3. But, I think 7 is enough. And I also think that last year the Knicks could have beaten the Pacers. In that Game 7, Mikal Bridges isn't on the team. Cat's not on the team. The guy they traded for and Julius Randle was injured. OG played a couple minutes. I mean, go look at that game. You got 40-some minutes from Deuce. Right. You got huge minutes from Dante. Dante's obviously gone. Jalen got hurt. So I think the Knicks are better. I think the Knicks win.
Yeah, because also Jalen Brunson, I forget, did he break his thumb or something? I forget, but he was obviously banged up, his wrist or whatever, or maybe not even his upper body, but he definitely got hurt. I already forget. But, yeah, I mean, I think the way how people looked at the Celtics series, because everybody was so confident about the Boston Celtics, that when the Knicks beat them, especially with a couple of those early games, so many people were looking at it through the lens of the Boston Celtics are losing these games. The New York Knicks aren't winning these games. This isn't an indicator of the greatness of the New York Knicks. This is an indicator of, oh, the Celtics, they've gone cold at the wrong time. There's something wrong with them, right? It's almost kind of like, oh, they're sick, right? Like, oh, like they're just they're under the weather right now and they're playing. Like Jalen, Jalen and Jason Tatum, and that they're sick. They they didn't get a good night's sleep, and so they're just not feeling well. And like that's the way they're playing. And the Knicks are able to just win because of that, rather than the New York Knicks just being a great team, and just being like, no, we're not a great story. We're not interesting. We're not just from New York, so it's a big city, big market. Like we're a great team. We're here to ball. We took down the Celtics, and we did so very convincingly. And it definitely was not because of Jason Tatum's injury, right? Like the season was the series was already over essentially before that. This isn't the Steph Curry series where it was like, oh, they won the one game with Jason Tatum and then he went down and then the Knicks were able to just rip off some wins. Like that's not the story here. So I'm excited about this because then also the Pacers, people believe that the Pacers won only because of Cleveland being banged up. So it is that's what makes the series kind of so fun to watch, actually, because I think you have a lot of people who are like, again, the Knicks were able to take advantage of the Celtics, who just kind of were either fool's gold or just kind of, peaked at the wrong time, and so they plummeted at the wrong time. And it's like, all right. And then with the Pacers, they're like, they're kind of just lucky to be here. They keep beating teams that are injured and banged up and not full strength. They're not that good. And so now we get to see these two teams clash together. And I think it makes total sense that the Knicks are obviously favored to win this series. And I'm fascinated to see how it unfolds right now, because the New York Knicks are obviously relentless and have been such an awesome team to watch. And at first glance, I was like, the best finals right now would be the New York Knicks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. You got a bunch of overlap. You got some fascinating stories, some drama. I'd love to see it. But at the same time, in terms of quality of basketball, I think it's Knicks versus OKC. Because then I think we're watching two very high quality, relentlessly coached, relentless effort teams that not only have the skill and the hard work clashing together. And that's kind of maybe elevated. But again, from a narrative standpoint, the Timberwolves have that versus the Knicks because of the overlap of some pretty key players there. But the Knicks just play high quality ball. That much is obvious. And I do think it's interesting because if the Knicks win this series, I don't want to say easily because it's the playoffs, the conference championship, like it's but like, I don't know, if you watch this game and you just watch the series and you just come away with it and just say, oh, the Knicks are clearly better. Like, yeah, they're clearly the best. I would really probably elevate them to being like, not, again, I don't want to say front runners, but like it would be hard to not put the Knicks as the number one team to win it all. If this does go 6-7 games and it is a little bit harder of a series, and there is a game or two where you're just like, the Knicks were just outmatched, it would make me feel a little bit more uncomfortable picking that. And I would say, that you would have to pick OKC. Again, maybe OKC doesn't even come out, but then that changes it altogether as well. But then I just think it would be fair to put OKC as like, all right, it's theirs to lose, which is why I just think like this will be such an interesting exploratory series for the New York Knicks, since people seem to like not be able to make up their mind, and I have my mind made up on them. I think they're a great team. So it's like if they really struggle with the Pacers, that would be more information for me. Like I would actually be then being like, oh, then they're actually not as great as I thought they were. Like it would actually be the kind of like an opposite effect for me, because I'm a huge believer in the Knicks. And it's not to say that I'm downplaying the Pacers, because I love what they've been doing as well. It just, I don't know, the Knicks just feel overwhelming to me. They just feel overwhelming to me in a way as I sneeze on the truth, that the Pacers don't necessarily have. So I don't know though. It's just that this series to me is so much more. I'm going to learn so much more from this series, from I guess technically both these teams, than I could with OKC and the Timberwolves at the end of the day. I think OKC is clearly better than the Timberwolves. And I think because of the confusion about how the New York Knicks have been winning, I think it sets the stage to really clearly define for everyone else just how great the New York Knicks are and can be as the playoffs continue forward. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the New York Knicks versus the Pacers? Who you got in this series? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.